What is up, all of you noodle slurpers? My name is Chase, and welcome back to the Ramen Review, where we review all things ramen. Today, we're taking a trip south of the border, or across oceans, to Malaysia. Not physically, I wish. But I think this is the first time I know it's the first time I'm ever reviewing Malaysian noodles, but I think it's the first time I've ever had Malaysian instant noodles. Today, we have Mamee, Chef. Mamee? I'm gonna say Mamee Chef for today, for all of you with mommy issues. Again, I've never had this, but I do wanna say this was a recommendation from one of you subscribers from Malaysia. Thank you for subscribing. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and like this video. Recommended this to me. I think it was on my, one of my Indomie reviews and said, yo, Malaysian instant noodle, Mamee Chef Lontong is gonna destroy Indomie. And I know I don't wanna create World War III amongst beautiful Asian countries, but that's just what they said. I don't know if they said that. But I do read the comments, and this was a recommendation from one of you, and I'm so excited to review this. It looks delicious. I have no idea what lontong is. I did a quick little Google search and it said it's something about rice being wrapped up in banana leaves. And I don't see any rice or banana leaves, so I don't know. Mamee Chef. As you can see, it's got chef, and it has a chef hat above it. I don't know. For some reason, that makes me feel like it's more premium. Maybe it's just marketing gimmick. I don't know. But I'm going into this feeling that this is kind of premium. I will say this package, it's a big girl. I think the noodles feel relatively thick, but I think there's a lot of packets in here. Again, I've never had these. I've never had Malaysian instant noodles in general. So I'm really excited to try this. It does say that it comes with chilies and vegetables. I don't know if you can see that, but saying that it has chilies, I hope it has some semblance of spice. Now it may not, I don't know, I'm just crossing my fingers because if you know me, you know I love spice. And I need to spice up my life as of lately. It's small, but it's not big. It's medium. Looking here, oh, there's fine print. It says, this will cure mommy issues or potentially exacerbate them. Just kidding, it didn't say that. My producer just told me not to say that because I don't want to get sued or get them sued. What? Oh, also just kidding, I don't have a producer. It's just me and my dog. Anyways, it's pretty straightforward. How to prepare. Place instant noodles in boiling water and cook for 3 minutes in 400 milliliters. That's probably like 3 gallons in US measurements. Add in seasoning powder, seasoning paste, and creamer. Creamer? And stir slightly. I don't think I've ever had noodles that have had creamer. Anyways, with that said, let's take a look at what's inside of this package. That's what she said? I don't know. Oh, we're making a mess. Oh, we have a packet with multiple packets. It's like some Inception. Let's take a look at what's inside this packet. Okay, we have 3 packets. First is first. We have a Mamee Chef. That feels like a paste of some sort. I hope it's a chili paste with spiciness. I don't know. Next, we have seasoning powder and garnishing. It's doesn't feel very full. Maybe like a quarter of that actually has anything in it. But I'm excited to see what's actually in there. And then finally, we have creamer. Now I will say this is not a liquid creamer. This is a powdered creamer. I'm very intrigued. I don't know. And then finally, we have a destroyed brick of ramen. I blame this on Amazon. And now my dog's eating all of that. Relatively thin, curly noodles. I have made a gigantic mess. This is even messier than my life. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and boil some nudes, do the thing, and then we'll do the thing and we'll be right back. Cheers. All right, and just like that, we are back. I've got scissors. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why. I still have 3 packets to enter into this thing. I think I was supposed to do it in the thing while it was doing its thing, but I wanted to show you for your viewing pleasure of what's actually gonna be going inside of this bowl. So with that said, I'm gonna grab another camera. We'll get a close-up. First, we have the seasoning powder with garnishes. See what this is all about. Looks like a very common ramen seasoning powder. It does have bigger flakes of chilies than I've seen in most, so that's exciting. Now let's add, oh shit. Now let's add this paste. I have no idea what to expect here. I'll give it a little sniff. I have no idea what that smells like, but it smells good. The paste is nice and thick. It's not like super oily and watery like some others you might see. It doesn't look appetizing, but it smells appetizing, so. And then finally, the thing I'm most curious about, creamer. Creamer. Leave it alone. That is just a fine, white, powdery substance. I didn't know this came from Colombia. All right, we got it all in there. And now, let's give it a little stir. All right, we have Mamee Chef Lontong instant noodles. I'm telling you right now, this smells really, really good. Before we start slurping, well, I guess it's technically slurping, but we're gonna slurp the broth first. So, cheers. It looks nice, and it actually seems pretty creamy. I'm assuming it's because of the creamer, but here we go. Mmm. Oh. Pretend you didn't see that. I get a little bit of spice. I honestly get a little bit of curry flavor. I could be wrong, but I'm definitely tasting curry in there. First of all, let's do a noodle pull. Seem like pretty springy, thin, curly noodles. Seem like they have a nice little bounce to them. Just the way I like it. What do you say? Let's take our first noodle slurp. I'm definitely tasting more of the curry. Definitely tasting a little bit more spice. The noodles are a little bit on the thinner side. They don't have a ton of chew to them, but they're not bad. They're not mushy, they're not soggy. I did cook for the exact 3 minutes, just like the recipe calls for. The noodles really hold on to the broth. It coats them well and the broth sticks to the noodles. It's hard to explain. It's got a really great mouthfeel. Like when you're slurping the noodles, it doesn't just feel like it almost feels like they're like lubed up. Wow. That's Henry. I'm actually really pleasantly surprised with this. Just looking at it, you can see like it looks like it's a really thick, creamy broth. Like it looks like a paitan where it's like white broth with oil on top, which we know it's just seasoning packets and whatever the hell that creamer is. But it looks legit. All right, let's see if it's really these little itty bitty chilies that are adding the heat, or if it came from that paste or the seasoning packets. And that actually did have a little bit of heat, but there's not that much in there, so I think it's kind of a combination. You know, this almost reminds me of a Thai yellow curry. In terms of the flavor, of course. All right, we're getting down to the little pieces of noodles that I have no business trying to fish out with chopsticks. Because as you've already seen, I suck with chopsticks. So we're going back to my big ramen spoon, soup spoon, I don't know. But I'm not letting any of this go to waste. If that's any indicator on how this review might go. That is something else. Malaysia, where have you been all my life? We're almost to the bottom. But again, I'm not letting a drop of this go to waste. All right, no time to waste. Oh, God. And done. Okay, I may have let 1 or 2 drops go to waste. All right, the part we've all been waiting for, the review. So typically I start off with the soup base, which is obviously the majority of the flavor. This was unique. This was the first time I've ever seen a creamer in an instant ramen pack. Granted, it was some sort of weird powdery creamer from Colombia. It wasn't from Colombia. But I really feel like that thickened up the broth. It wasn't just watery. It really had some semblance of like thickness and viscosity to it. I also liked that the seasoning pack, it did have chopped up dehydrated vegetables. So I think there was like green onions and red peppers. It also had a little bit of seafood forward flavor, but not barely detectable. I thought to myself, I'm like, I feel like I taste something seafoodish. And I did go look at the pack just now, and it does say that the seasoning pack has prawn in it. It says prawn/crustacean. So it could be a crawdad or something, I don't know. And there is shrimp or prawn on the picture in the front. So I should have probably connected the dots. But I will say that seafood flavor is very, very minimal. The flavor that jumped out to me most, and I could be completely off base here, was a curry flavor. And it was amazing. That flavor might take over as my new favorite instant noodle flavor. It had just the right like balance of the seafood and the curry, the chilies. It almost tastes, and there had to have been coconut in there, and I think that's maybe where I'm getting some of that curry note. 'Cause curries, like especially like Thai curries, and again, I don't know if they're similar to Malaysian curries. I can't even put it into words. That was extremely, like it was a symphony of flavors in your mouth for an instant noodle. So for the flavor and broth alone, I'm gonna give that a 9.5 out of 10. Seriously amazing. Now, that leads into the second part of this conversation, which is the noodles. The noodles were okay. They weren't horrible, they weren't soggy, they had a little bit of texture. I did cook it for the 3 minutes that it recommended. I'm wondering if I pulled it off a little sooner, if they might have gone up a few points. The noodles alone, again, very mediocre, very average. I'm gonna give them a 6 out of 10. Now, in terms of price, I got a 4-pack on Amazon for, I believe it averaged out to be about $3.60 USD per pack. So it's not cheap or inexpensive or expensive, but the quality is top tier. I have no problem paying that price. I will continue to pay that price all day. That was seriously phenomenal. The spice, I actually was pleasantly surprised with. I didn't know if it was gonna be spicy at all. It doesn't say anywhere on the packaging that it's gonna be spicy other than it denotes that it does include chili flakes or chilies. It's not spicy. Like if you're a spice lover, it's gonna be very minimal. To me, that was like, it was just a little bonus. I would say like on a spice scale, it's maybe like a 2.5 to 3 out of 10. Even non-spice lovers should be able to tolerate that, unless you're like one of those people that thinks ketchup's spicy. But I'm definitely going straight over there to order some more as soon as I stop yapping. So overall, I am going to give the Mamee Chef Lontong a 9 out of 10. If it wasn't for those noodles, I would have to at least give it a 9.5. If the noodle quality was as good as the flavor, I don't know if I'm ever gonna give a 10 out of 10 on this channel. To me, that's like God tier. But if I do find a 10 out of 10, I will not be afraid to call it out. This was amazingly good. Highly recommend. Run off your couch right now, get your butt off the couch, and go buy some of this. You won't regret it. My name is Chase, and this is a ramen review. If you like what you saw today, please feel free to leave a comment below of what ramen you would like me to review. Whether it's your favorite, whether it's from your country, whether you absolutely despise it and hate it and think it's the worst thing in the world and you want to see me suffer through it, I'm all for it. I'm open to ideas and suggestions. And like I said, the goal of this is to be able to travel the world, eating ramen everywhere, reviewing, comparing, sharing notes, and really just embrace the noodle-loving community.